Do you ever worry if the cashier at the grocery store is judging the contents of your shopping cart? Or if, like, the delivery guy is going to think something about the amount of food you ordered? Well, I should probably say that they don't. But the thing is, they probably do, don't they? In fact, they almost certainly do. In that position, I would. I would be super judgmental, at least if something struck me as exceptional. Now, of course, it's different to talk about strangers passing each other by in the street. Yes, true. The guy sitting across from you on the subway probably doesn't care if your hair is greasy, if he even notices at all. The other patrons at the restaurant aren't snidely wondering why you've chosen to dine alone. You have to be, I think, exceptionally mean-spirited and insecure to put that much mental effort into negatively evaluating the apparent lives of random people in the street. For the most part, in those situations, people are more worried about themselves. But it's not quite the same thing, is it, when someone is a service worker? That's to say, when they are providing you with a service. When they are working and you are their customer, their client. There seems to be something about that dynamic between worker and client that is prohibitive to regular human compassion, human connection. And I mean this on both sides. From the client's perspective, the worker is a kind of non-human entity, a disregarded thing. The worker may usually be a full person, a friend or family member or a stranger. But when they are working, they become a tool that serves a function for you, a kind of utilitarian object. And the worker is aware of that. How can he not be? Service work is the work of making yourself into a tool, into something that serves a function for other people, and then allowing them to use you for at least 8 hours a day. So even if it's a super fun job generally, and you have good coworkers and pay and benefits, your position is dehumanized. And how can you not start to resent your clients? Maybe you know consciously that the ones actually making you live this way are your bosses, or your boss's bosses, or the system of capitalism at large. But in a more immediate, instinctual way, it's the clients who are using you. How can you not hate them, at least a little bit? How can you not start to find yourself dehumanizing them in some subconscious retaliation, seeing them not as people, but as tasks to be dealt with, or obstacles to get rid of? Of course, this is not a universal constant or anything, but I think there's something about it that's true, right? People complain about their customers all the time. I would expect that to be the most common kind of workplace conversation. And there's plenty of examples out there of customers treating their servers very badly. Makes me wonder if all the weird abuse and disregard and sometimes downright cruelty present in, let's say, the medical field is just the same phenomenon writ over again. The nurse that refuses your pain medication. Does she resent having to deal with you? You're not a person, after all. You're a problem, and she has to deal with you before she goes home. But I don't know how you would fix this. I'm just thinking out loud. Is it money? Is money the problem? Like the necessity of it? Or is it the work-life balance if you didn't have to devote most of your time to being an object? Or if most of the recreational activities available to you when you're not being an object did involve treating other people like objects, maybe? Or is it some flaw in evolutionary biology? That we can't empathize with so many people, so many ever-changing faces when we evolved to live in much smaller, more personal social groups? I guess at the grocery store, if you're buying a bunch of crazy stuff, you can just thank the cashier wholeheartedly. And if you're the cashier, you can try to find a little humor in it. Try to have an honest smile.